Yes, now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Thomas Rants YouTube channel. Let's talk SmackDown. Now, apologies in advance if I continue to look like I'm on crack or I'm about to sneeze. It's because I'm about to sneeze. It's winter, it's Christmas, colds are going, and apparently I've got a blockage up here that makes me want to sneeze every 5 seconds, but I don't actually sneeze. So apologies if I look like an absolute crackhead. I promise I'm not. Let's talk SmackDown. Anyways, I mean, it was structured a bit weird. And there was a shit ton of tag team matches. I don't even know, was there a singles match? I can't even tell you if there was a singles match. There was one. It was Julia Alba Fire. Now, obviously, Julia, the former Women's United States Champion, wants her United States Championship back, and obviously that's feuding with Chelsea Green. We need to do some build-up. We can't just have this happen in 1 week. Whoa. So she fights Alba Fire, Chelsea Green's secret Hervers, her special agent. Pretty decent match. Obviously, Julia gets the win in a statement win, and to be honest, I'm happy they're doing something, keeping the divisions hot, you know. And I think, and this is what I'm liking about WWE at the moment, they've covered every single title division. Not a single division went amiss. For example, the men's United States title division. Obviously, we know Carmelo Hayes has been going after that United States Championship, but so has DIY. So, after last week, after the match, when DIY attacked Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes came to their aid, they decided to have a tag team match this week. DIY versus Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes. Fraxium claimed that Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov were cutting the line, but Hayes simply told them, look, you got your problems, you'll sort them. We've got our problems, we're going to sort them tonight. And that they did. So, Carmelo Hayes, Ilya Dragunov easily got the win. And I think we have a clear path now for Ilya, Carmelo Hayes for that United States Championship. The winner eventually faces Tama Tonga, which is pretty fucking cool. And then are we gonna do a culmination of a feud between Fraxium and DIY? I mean, is there really any point in that when there's no titles on the line? Maybe we might just have a match on NXT next week, which, to be honest, doesn't bother me. But you know what does bother me? Something I've mentioned in many episodes now. Last week, the Terror Twins, terrible name, but the Terror Twins beat Aleister Black and Zelina Vega, and I thought, you know what? That will finally be the end of Damian Priest, Aleister Black. And a lot of people saying that WWE waste Damian Priest. That he used to be double tag team champions alongside Money in the Bank, and then he was world heavyweight champion, and he was beating Drew McIntyre and stuff like this, and now he's just feuding with Aleister Black for months and not really doing much. Well, he opened up the show. How was that for failing Damian Priest? And I thought, you know what, Damian Priest opening the show, cutting the promo, fair enough. Until I realised WWE actually are failing Damian Priest, because what are they not done doing? They are yet to finish having Damian Priest feud with Aleister Black. It's not over. After all of that, it is still not over. Zelina Vega came out to argue the fact that, you know, Rhea pinned her. You know, Priest never pinned Aleister Black. It's not over yet. And Aleister Black obviously started attacking Damian Priest and shouting out that he decides when it's over, not Priest. So you just brutalise Priest and sent him to the hospital. For God's sakes, let's just have a match, one-on-one match. Damian Priest win clean. End it. We're not dragging this out till WrestleMania. It's not happening, right? Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre lasted too long, and we didn't even get proper closure on it. I felt like we had closure last week, and now we're still dragging it out. It's ridiculous. Let's just end it once and for all. Please. Please. Anyway, moving on. The women's tag team division has been hot, right, on both brands. The Kabuki Warriors are the champions. Obviously, there's only one title, so they go across all brands, including NXT. I mean, NXT, we've got Zaruka. Raw, we have Rio. That's what they call Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. We also have the Judgment Day, Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. And on SmackDown, we have Nia Jackson, Lash Legend. And we have Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. There is other tag teams, but these are just the ones currently involved. So as you can see, WWE has absolutely revitalized the women's tag team division. So today, Lash Legend, Nia Jax, the newly formed team, two powerhouses, took on the Kabuki Warriors, the champions, non-title, which you know what that means. Nia Jax and Lash Legend got the win. This is obviously going to line them up for a match against the Kabuki Warriors for the tag team titles, but it might not be against the Kabuki Warriors, because, why am I saying Buki? Because the Kabuki Warriors will face Rio on the January 5th or January 6th, 1 year anniversary of Raw and SmackDown. for the tag team titles, the Rhea won the World Heavyweight Championship on the debut of Raw on Netflix. They're most likely going to win these tag belts on the 1 year anniversary. Plus, it's Rio. No one wants to see them lose. So, yes, this match gets them in a one contendership, but when? Does this mean Lash Legend and Nia Jax will be facing the Kabuki Warriors after January 5th, which means they'll most likely be facing Rio? Or are they going to take this match beforehand and we have a chance that January 5th turns into Rhea Ripley and Io Sky against Nia Jax and Lash Legend? I don't know. But what I do know is Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair came out after the match, start scrapping Nia Jax and Lash Legend, you know, because they're not done. Lash Legend and Nia Jax did that to them. Lash Legend beat Alexa Bliss last week. They're just getting their own back. It's simple as that. And I'm glad that the division is finally on fire. And the men's tag division. Although when we don't necessarily have the DIY, Fraxium, Street Profits, MSMG that we used to have, but we have the Wyatt Six and MFT, which is two factions going at it and actually main evented for the tag team titles. Now, obviously, Dexter Lumis, Joe Gacy are the tag team champions. I would have thought this tag team match would be Tala Tonga and JC Mateo, if not Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. But it wasn't. It was Tonga Loa and JC Mateo. Talk about taking your two weakest links. Not literally. Well, probably literally, but I don't know. The match was actually doing all right. I mean, it's weird seeing like a Wyatt character, like a creepy character as baby faces, but I like it because the Wyatt character was never a baby face, really, only in Bray Wyatt's last ever match. And that's how the Wyatt Six debuted, as baby faces. When they moved over at SmackDown, they had a bit of a heel run. It just didn't make sense, if you ask me. So babyface makes sense. And eventually they tagged in Joe Gacy, and Joe Gacy came and did all this crazy shit. Eventually a fight broke out, and then disqualification. I genuinely thought MFT were going to walk away with the tag titles today, but I don't mind prolonging this one. In fact, we need some more added to this feud because there's 5 members of the Wyatt Six, but one of them's a woman, you know, and there's 5 male members of MFT. So we need a 5th member, or we need someone to step in if we're going to do a proper match, or they're just going to run with 5v4, and I just don't think that's very fucking fair. But maybe that's the way they have the Wyatt Six lose without, you know, it being embarrassing. You know, it's the numbers game. So, yeah. I'm glad that tag division's on fire, and I can't wait for all the different types of matchups we're going to get in this feud, especially when we get Solo versus Uncle Howdy. That's going to cook, it's going to eat, it's going to feed families. I just realised they are all like something to do with cooking. What's that? Oh, it's like semantic field or something like that. That's mental. That not semantic field. I don't know. It doesn't matter anyway because I don't do English anymore. Not really much in terms of the world titles, such as Jade and Cody. Obviously, we got some promo work, but no real matches. We just had a little interview with Jade Cargill. The nice thing she said about B-Fab and Michin was that they lasted longer and got up more than she thought they would. But obviously, they're not done with Michin, you know. So, Michin attacks Jade Cargill with the kendo stick. Again, like last week. Obviously, last week, Jade Cargill combated it. This week she didn't because people stepped in straight away. And that was it, right? Simple as that. So, we're probably going to prolong this. And I don't really like it. Because B-Fab and Michin aren't necessarily like major players. I get this is them trying to probably propel them into the major players. Or maybe this is them just trying to substitute some people in while we're dealing with other things, such as Tiffany and Bianca both not being there, and Charlotte and Alexa being in the tag team division. But if you notice when Jade started her interview, it was off the back of an interview between Alexa and Charlotte. And this was simply, you know, a sign, an Easter egg, that maybe, you know, Charlotte and Alexa aren't going to get those tag titles back. They might split, they might not, but maybe they're both going to go after that title. Maybe that causes them to split. So that's the future. And I'm excited because Alexa Bliss in the title division again. Yes, please. We need 2017, 2018 version of Alexa Bliss back. The best version. Yes, the Wyatt storyline was interesting. Not really for me, but I guess it was interesting. And this Alexa Bliss, yes, is over and all that. But it's never been the same since the Goddess. You know, the Goddess was the shit. And Charlotte Flair's never going to leave the world title division. Charlotte Flair's always going to be worthy of it. We're just not going to be bothered to see it anymore. But it is what it is. So I'm ready for that. And finally, Cody Rhodes, WWE title division. We got a recap of the video between Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes, the one where Nick Aldis went to Drew McIntyre's house to discuss terms with getting Drew McIntyre back on the roster. Nick Aldis presented his terms, saying that Drew needed to apologise publicly to Dan Engler and needed to pay a fine. That would be what he got paid for Survivor Series. That's when Drew McIntyre counter-offered with the fact that, should he do this, he deserves a WWE title shot. And I believe it was Cody Rhodes cannot touch him once his contract is signed until they get their match. I believe that was the only term, but that's what we're getting. But obviously in the video, before any of these terms were made official, because there was no public apology from Drew McIntyre yet, there was no fine paid yet, there was no contracts made about Cody not touching, Cody came and fought him at his house, got in massive trouble with the police and Nick Aldis and all this sort of stuff. So we've got a storyline. Cody Rhodes came out to address it on a promo. Nick Aldis followed him out there and said, "You're not helping," essentially. Said, "You are allowing Drew McIntyre all these terms because you are making me look like a liar. I am telling Drew it is a safe work environment. You are showing up and brawling at his house. I am telling Drew this is not a setup, and then you're showing up and you're attacking him. You are not helping the situation." That's when Cody goes in with the promo of a lifetime, by the way. Promo of a lifetime. Like, Cody cooks, like, all the time, right? Just every week. It's a bit like Sami Zayn. It's a bit repetitive. It's a bit dull. It's a bit cheesy. It's a bit easy, right? It's a bit easy to just go, "Oh, yeah, fans, we love everything," you know? But this cooked, you know? And just like with Survivor Series and War Games and all that sort of stuff, like, this helped a lot. And he said, "Nick Aldis, you need to remember who you're talking to. I need to remind you who I am." He said, "Go ask Wade Barrett." And I thought they were going to go after, like, a British, like, you know, wrestling background, because Cody and Nick Aldis have history in the ring, and I'm guessing he was going to bring Wade Barrett into that, but it wasn't that. And then he was on about someone at ringside, either one of the cameramen or whatever, said their names. He said, "I'm Cody Rhodes. I'm the guy who put out the tweet that changed everything. I am the current reigning king of the ring. I am the man who dethroned Roman Reigns. I am the man who beat the greatest of all time. I am quarterback one for a reason. I'm Cody fucking Rhodes. Yeah? All this happens because of me." And basically alluded to the fact that Nick works for him. Things work on Cody's terms. And obviously Cody's not a heel. This isn't, you know, the path they're going down. They're not saying Cody has a problem with Nick Aldis' authority. But Cody's had it up to here with Drew. And he's tired of waiting. Nick's trying to get control of everything. Cody's like, "Nah. For once in my life, this is how this is going to go, because I'm going to shut him up." I'm excited for these match terms as well, because I feel it in my bones. They've already done 2 matches where they've had, like, not, like, outcomes that are, like, sketchy, you know, with the referee costing Drew at WrestlePalooza, and then it was WrestlePalooza the first one? I don't know. But then it was then on Saturday Night's Main Event, and then it was the DDT on the title. In the third match, are they really going to go through months of feuding for Drew to lose again? No. At the Rumble or Saturday Night's Main Event, wherever it happens, Drew McIntyre is winning that title in front of a crowd like he deserves. It's not that they need Cody to drop the title. I just don't think it's that interesting at the moment. And I think there's plenty of plans open for Cody. It means you have plenty of different things you can do. I just think the right thing to do is put the title on someone new, make it exciting, but also it needs to be Drew. Drew has earned his flowers more than enough. He won that title, carried lockdown, and as soon as we came out of lockdown, he did his fair bit of work. He put himself through feuds with absolutely everyone, like Damian Priest, CM Punk. He even did the non-title feuds with Cody Rhodes. He's done it all. He's earned his more flowers than he needed to. Give him that world title reign that he's longed for. The one in front of a crowd. The one where he gets all the spotlight. The one where it lasts longer than 5 minutes. He deserves it. I'm here for it. But anyway, it seemed like a bit of a dull episode of SmackDown, but it was actually quite alright. Just a lot of tag team matches. You know, I want more story building. I've got to say, Cody's segment was probably my favourite part. As for match of the night, oh, it's a tricky one. Nothing really stands out, which is harsh to say, but it's just true. I think I'm probably going to go with Ilya and Carmelo against DIY, because we finally got to see nothing but net. You know, they've been teasing it for weeks and it never happened. We only got first 48. We finally got to see nothing but net, which I don't feel like I've seen that in ages, but finally we got it. So that's going to be my match of the night. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.